Shakespeare, whether it be the controversial Salman Rushdie or Tagore's Gitanjali, the fantasy-filled Harry Potter or the very realistic Steve Jobs, the humorous P.G. Wodehouse or the heart-wrenching Dostoevsky. Books are one of the very few pleasures that give you in return much more than what you have invested. Ladies and gentlemen, Toastmasters and guests, reading is a high-end pleasure, and read you must. Now, I wasn't always a book person, but I am today. That makes it possible for the people who are not into reading to get totally into reading. Although I was into newspaper columns, articles, and I would read the chapters from my English textbook before they were taught in class. Now at this point in time, I need to clarify something. I am not a geek. On the other hand, reading has changed my life phenomenally, and I'm sure it's going to change yours too. Now there's a plethora of things that we can do in life. Learn a new instrument, go dancing, go for a run, follow people on Twitter and whatnot. So why allocate some time from your daily life to reading? Now looking at it scientifically, parietal lobe is a region in our brain which is very active if you are a frequent reader. It increases your concentration, reception and perception. Now what exactly does parietal lobe do? Parietal lobe transforms the letters. Let's take an example, V-I-J-A-Y, into the word, in this instant, Vijay. And these words go into thoughts. So what are the thoughts when we hear the word Vijay? He's the president of Bangalore Toastmasters Club. He's also the chocolate boy of Bangalore Toastmasters Club. And he is remarkably handsome. So thoughts develop more if you read. You're also more likely to remember things than the others who do not read. Now, how do we get into this habit of reading? Or if we already read, how do we build up on that habit? So I've categorized people into 4 broad categories who are going how to take up reading. And I'd like you to raise your hands if you fall in any one of those categories. And if you fall in more than one, don't worry, raise your hands in all 4 of them. Right? So the first category is if you are someone who wants to read but does not know which book to pick up. Raise your hand if you are someone who wants to read but does not know how to select a book. Okay, I have an audience. Right? So, if you are someone like that, then you need to identify a person who shares your interests and ideas and also reads. Now, you need to take his or her recommendation and try it out. A couple of books are definitely going to work for you. But if you are a person whose interests do not match with anyone, well then let me tell you, you must have weird interests. But on a serious note, if you cannot find someone in the real world, you can find them in the virtual world. There's a wonderful book readers networking website called The Goodreads. There are a lot of readers there. I'm on Goodreads. You can read the reviews, what they've already read, what they're currently reading, and what they would like to read in future. You can follow me on Goodreads, but not literally. Now, there are some books which every reader is supposed to read in their reading lifetime. Merchant of Venice, 1,000 Splendid Suns, To Kill a Mockingbird, and so on. Now moving on to the second category. Are you someone who gets a panic attack when they look at the thickness of the book? Oh, a lot of people, yeah. So advice to you is to look for a slender, slim book under 200 pages. These books would include Tuesdays with Morrie, The Great Gatsby, the movie just came out, excellent classic by Fitzgerald, and Animal Farm, one of my favorite authors, George Orwell. Now, the third category. Are you someone who does not pick up a book because the language is too complex, complicated, and convoluted? Depends on the subject. Otherwise, you would raise your hand, right? Yes, so I have one person. Yes. So if you are someone like that, then literature is clearly not your forte. But beauty lies in simplicity, and sometimes the simplest sentences can have the most beautiful meaning. And these books include, again, Tuesdays with Morrie, The Diary of a Young Girl by Anne Frank, and To Kill a Mockingbird. Now for the fourth category. Are you someone who has a lot of questions in their head, worries unnecessarily, and feels that nobody loves you? Okay, well then that's just me. When the entire world has turned your back on you, there is nothing more comforting than a good book. The books that can raise you from the lowest rung of the ladder to push you higher up above the clouds are the best books. These include City of Joy, Outliers by Malcolm Gladwell, and Ignited Minds by Kalam. Now there are a lot of things that is going to shape you as a person, but a book is an entire package. A book helps you to structure your ideas, clear your thoughts, and more likely to remember things. But there is a bitter truth. If you get into reading, you cannot come out of it. But there is a good thing, for reading is a bliss even when you have nothing left. As one of the writers very smartly put it, Charles W. Eliot, books are the quietest and most constant of friends. They are the most accessible and wisest of counselors and the most patient of teachers. So ladies and gentlemen, Toastmasters and guests, read you must.